please hit the notification bell and also hit the like button. This helps in our ratings with the videos and we appreciate it. And be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grumman Pilot's YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about the motor or engine mount extrusions that are on our airplanes. And in this case, a repair to one. It had become loose because of corrosion, so we're going to clean it all up and we're going to rebond a new one back into place after match drilling everything. It's a lot of work, but Ken was nice enough to send us the video from back in the day. Please enjoy.
Peel this out first. Get that out of the way. May have to heat it. Yeah, it should peel. Yeah, there we go.
Looks like honeycomb.
Yeah. And what Phil was talking about doing is taking a thing like that and heating the end of it and just slide it right back in there. Yeah, there you go. Just wiggle it.
Very grabbing. Just turn out.
Okay, we got a little burr tool here, rotary file. It's got teeth on the end, down on the sides, and should be able to get in there and clean that glue and stuff off of the outer skin. I want to take a little flat file and just work it back and forth in there.
That'd be probably the best one.
So just a little high there in front. But, yeah.
You probably need to go back just a slight bit.
Get that corner dressed just a little square back there in the back and getting that sucker to where it seats down in there just perfectly. You see from this side where it was all cut out and cleaned out, and that's the way it should look. Drilled up, and we have the new parts here for them, no holes in them. And using an old one there for fitting, and then from the other side, exfoliated, and we got the doubler in there. And this is a 371 ream, so this takes it up to where it's an interference fit to put the thing through. You can push them through, but we've got an adjustable ream here set up that takes it up to where it's just a slip fit through, and we're going to save that. We're going to drill these up now here on the drill press. And the way we did this was to align the crosshairs according to the drawing, which is a 1/2 inch in, a 1/2 inch back, or whatever they are. Okay, and then go ahead and flip them over. Drill one side, then the other side to allow for any error here. And now we're going to go through and bring them up with the ream to that slip fit position, and then we'll get over there and go. We took a thick piece of metal here and did some test holes and stuff through it to get it up to where we wanted the thing. Here's the bolt, and let's see, which was the last hole we did here?
The last hole we did was
this one here.
This one here.
And that,
as you can see, it's just
barely will go through, and that's after running the adjustable ream through it.
Right.
And that's even a little bit looser than we want right there. You want to basically have to drive these things in.
As you can see, this is the type of fit we have. Nice and tight. And now the next step we're going to do is when we get it on the plane, we'll step it up just another thousandths, which will give us a little bit of a play, but we'll still be able to drive it into the... Alright, let me go ahead and get these located back in the plane now.
Okay, we're getting these draw clecos in place. Put a washer in the back to protect the metal. Get this shown here, that how this block is slid in nice tight in place, and we got the doubler clecoed in place over it. Now put this guy on the inside.
Now this one over here, I've got a tapered pin in the bottom, okay?
I gotta take this. I got this.
Okay, go ahead.
Do that side.
Yeah.
Okay, Klaus is taking this taper ream here now and doing a little hand reaming.
Oh, that's nice because it barely just takes any of the outclad off too, so that's good. Hardly any removal of it.
Okay, we're coming up here on getting this job completed, and we got the holes all drilled and dimpled. The way we did this was put the blocks in place that were already countersunk, and then squished, sucked them in with the bolts in with the nuts on the back, working our way down to get them dimpled so that they'll seat in. This one here's a kind of interesting because it goes right on that edge, but that'll all be covered up with filler, and then we'll put that line back in there so we see the thing. And then the inside of it, getting some weird light here. Try to do it over here on this side. Yeah, I'm getting it there too. So it gives a good view of how the honeycomb is all cut out. Over here we got the parts all laid up, and we primed all the areas that are not going to get bonded. And of course, both sides of this, here's the block. It's all dimpled in here, or countersunk, painted around the edges with green primer. Then this side in here, but that all gets, this goes up against there, and then the extrusion, we already had it's all drilled up and everything. It goes against like that, and there we go. Okay, just lay it down and let it go forward. It lines up like that. And then this goes against the firewall. I drill through there and pull rivets in. So that's our setup. And then the other side over here. Here's all our hardware. Got the appropriate stainless bolts there and stainless nuts. And mix up the bonding and smear it all up and slap this thing together. Okay, packing in the sealant. Now this is what's called out in the maintenance manual to use. They call out for ProSeal or PRC PR 1422 B1/2. This is the consolidated sealants equivalent of it, CS 3402 or 3204 or whatever it is. But anyway, the first thing to do is to go in there and pack in all of the area where the honeycomb edges are, to seal that, make it all nice and flat, and then we'll butter up the bar here, spacer bar, and push it in place. Then butter up the doubler and get it pushed in, Cleco everything in, shove it in, then wipe things down, and then do the back side of the extrusion. Get it all pulled in, tightened down with the with these wing nut Clecos, draw Clecos that draw them all in nice and tight, and then start putting the get them locked in. We do the cherry rivets in the doublers, and then draw all this together. So this stuff is the B2 type, so it gives us a 2-hour work life, and I think we're probably going to need it. Used 80 grams of sealant, or see 80.2, and then 8 grams 1 to 10 mix of the catalyst for it. So we got 90 grams of material here. Probably a little more than we'll need for one side. Do this one side at a time. See how much time it takes. We got enough time left on the stuff, and we got stuff left. We'll move on to the other side and mix a little bit more if we have to. The little artist palette knives work just great for spraying this stuff out. See what he's doing there. pretty thin application to it. What we want here is a thorough coverage with a very thin skim on it. This is the flange that goes against the firewall, and all of those holes in there get filled with Cherry Max rivets.
Well, there you see it. It's not a hard task to do, just a lot of attention to detail, cleaning everything up, getting the sealant in place. So we hope you found all this useful and informative. It is a complicated extrusion repair. Most people never have it. Thanks for watching and have a great day flying your Grumman. And in addition, there's a little treat about 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm doing web work and other stuff. Here's my cat coming down, playing with a mouse and meowing and just having a good time with me in the wee hours of the night. So I thought I'd throw this into you as a little treat. Y'all please enjoy.